Hey everybody, it's Tim, the Beast of the Marching Arts. I hope you're having an awesome day. We're in the middle of the DCI season. What a fun time of year. Everybody is so enjoying the shows. There's so much amazing work being done. So here's what I want to talk to you about today. I want to remind you that scores and the way the season goes is not like a direct line. Okay, like DCI, for whatever reason, is putting out all of these rankings, and on this day, here's what the scores are, and people are extrapolating all of these grand conclusions about what that's going to mean. I want to remind you that the season for most cores is not a direct line. Okay, now for some of the very, very top cores, they come out really strong, they stay really strong, it's an upward slope. But sometimes cores come out really strong and then they peak early and then they don't have anywhere to go. And then sometimes cores come out really strong and they get better and better the whole season. And then sometimes drum corps come out and they're struggling a little bit because they're young, the show is extra hard, whatever it is. So their season struggles and then suddenly they get a lot better really fast. And they start passing other people as the season goes on. And sometimes corps start out and they struggle and they stay struggling because for whatever reason the show's not right or whatever. So it's not a direct line. So if you're one of those people that's making these wild conclusions about, well, this corps done for or whatever, you need to learn some things. If you've ever been a part of any group, you will know that every season is different. And some seasons you start out strong and it keeps going. Sometimes you peak early and sometimes you start struggling or you have a lot of work to do and then suddenly everything clicks and it starts to go. Also, remember that until all these corps get together, judging panel on the East Coast and the West Coast, it's not an exact metric, people. You have to understand how this all works, okay? So don't make all of these wild conclusions. It's not helping you, it's not helping. I mean, it's fun. If you're having fun doing it with your friends, fine. But be careful that you're posting, sometimes, again, hurtful comments on social media about what you're thinking about what's going on with these scores and with these cores. And I can tell you, what's going to happen on the last day of the season in August could be really different from what we're seeing today. Because I can tell you that I've seen some cores that I know that they are going to suddenly get it together and they're going to start flying. Okay, so let's not forget that. And don't forget, if you've ever been a part of a Winter Guard group, you know that sometimes in your local circuit you struggle and people will say, just wait till you get to Dayton. And you know what happens? They get to Dayton and suddenly they're in the top half of the group and they're in finals. And you're like, what happened? It's all about context. It's all about who the judging panel is on each certain night, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I just want to remind you, have fun with the scoring stuff. It's fun. If you enjoy doing that, great. It's not something I'm really into. I'm more interested in the shows than I am in the scores. But don't be making these wild predictions and maybe some hurtful comments about what's happening with cores. Remember, there's a lot going on that you don't know. A lot of changes might be made to the show. The staff may have a strategy to really keep content in the show, and then they're going to make the right changes or whatever. Like, it's very complicated. It's not a straight line, okay? So just remember that. Don't be writing anybody off today. That's my main point. Don't write anybody off. And if you think you know who's going to win, I got to tell you right now, I think there's 6 or 7 corps that could easily win this year. The shows are amazing. And who knows what's going to happen over these next weeks as they practice all day long. There's so much that can happen. So don't make crazy conclusions. I mean, talk about it with your friends, have fun, but don't be writing anybody off. Have an awesome day, everybody.